Um, um, Hello there again. It's me, Miss Vivian Elizabeth from Andalusia Academy, bringing to your doorstep virtual learning together with Horizon TV. And it's another time we're going to learn about writing, and we're going to look at one particular type of writing called descriptive writing. So I hope you will be attentive as I walk you through how to come up with a good and clear descriptive writing. Welcome. So like I said, we are looking at descriptive writing. Actually, descriptive is a term, adjective in this case, that is derived from the verb describe and noun description. So let's start by looking at the verb describe. What does it mean to describe? So to describe simply refers to giving details, we're looking at giving details of an object, a person, it could be a place or an event, etc., etc. There are so many things that you can describe. That is our key term today. So when you want to describe, you want to create a picture, you want to tell somebody about a person you met, an event you attended, or a place you visited, you will have to describe by giving details, vivid details of how the object looks like, the events that, the event you attended, what activities that you did and what kind of things you were involved in. The person, how did that person look like? What was the appearance in terms of color, in terms of height, in terms of size, age and all that. If you're describing a place in terms of distance, where and all that. If you're describing an object, of course we have mentioned the color, the shape, what it was and all. So giving details, clear details of what something or a person or a place looks like is actually called to describe. So taking us back to descriptive writing. When you're looking at now descriptive writing, so we are saying that descriptive writing involves, giving details, simple. So when you're writing descriptively, we have main objective here. We must give details, and these details must be appealing to the 5 senses. So you're wondering, what are these 5 senses? We have 5 senses, and I believe you can actually, if I guide you, you can actually tell what they are and how they're being used in your body as part of your body. So first, let's understand, when you're describing the details you're giving, they must be attached to the 5 senses. So before we look at how to do this, let me take you to a video that is going to help you understand the 5 senses that we are talking about, that we must consider when we are describing. So watch a video here with me. Okay. Good. So we are having a video here. So if I pause it a little bit, we are having eyes. You literally know what eyes are being used for. They are being used to see. You can see. Okay. So when we are describing, You must be able to ensure that your audience, your readers are able to see exactly what you're talking about. Does not mean that you have to draw it in on paper or within your text or within your writing. I'll show you how you're supposed to create, ensure you engage the sense of sight using your eyes so that your audience can create a picture of sight in terms of what you're referring to as sense of sight. So let's continue.
Nose to smell.
Exactly. Again, we have nose as part of our body organ that is being used to smell. So we are having the sense of smell. If you're writing a text, a descriptive text, please try to use words that are going to ensure that your readers or your audience are able to try and imagine they're smelling whatever you're whatever you're describing as the writer. Again, does not mean that you have to accompany your writing with some food to be smelt or whatever. It means you use the choice of words. And as we go back to descriptive writing, I'll show you how you're supposed to make vocabulary choices that are going to create the sense of smell that is going to appeal to the sense of smell to your readers and your audience. Taste, again, I'll show you the same thing. Then the ears.
To feel.
So what I'm trying to say here, these 5 organs, they bring out the senses. So eyes will bring the sense of sight. Nose will bring the sense of smell. Tongue will bring the sense of taste. Ears will bring the sense of hearing. Then we have the skin or the hands there, the sense of touch. So you're wondering, how am I supposed to come up with the writing or choice of vocabulary that will ensure I engage all these 5 senses that we have as human beings? Let's go back and I'll show you how we're going to do it. So we have said that descriptive writing involves giving details that appeal to the 5 senses, and we have looked at them, and I'll just briefly list them down. We have sense of smell. Using the nose, remember, we have sense of hearing. Using the ears, we have sense of taste. Using the tongue, you're able to see that. We have sense of touch. Using your hands or the skin usually helps us feel touch. When somebody touches you, you will feel it in your skin. Then we have sense of sight. Using our eyes, you can see, you can touch, feel. When somebody touches you, you can taste, you can hear, you can smell. So these are the 5 main senses that we must engage when you're writing descriptively. You're wondering, how do you do this? Let me show you. So let's look at how to engage the 5 senses. In writing. It's very simple. Okay? Very simple. For example, you want to describe what you saw to your readers so that they're able to see and appeal to their senses of sight by just reading the words you have used. And remember now, we are talking about the words, the word choice, the vocabulary choice that you're going to use will ensure that you appeal to the sense of our hearing, the sense of our sight, touch, taste, and smell. I'll start with the sense of smell. So if you want to create or engage the sense of smell in your readers, it's very simple. Please pick word choice or vocabulary in your sentence that is going to bring out the sense of smell. For example, I'm going to give you a sentence. Look at the sentence we have. The smoke from the burning logs from the fireplace was choking. I almost suffocated. So if you're looking at this sentence, I've not used the term smell. I've not used the term sense. I've not drawn a fireplace with smoke. I've not accompanied my writing with smoke for you to smell. We are looking at the choice of words, the choice of vocabulary. The vocabulary we use in our sentences will help us create the sense of smell. For instance, we are looking at the word smoke. Okay? We are looking at the word choking, and you're looking at the word suffocated. When you smell dust, if you're allergic to dust, you feel like you're suffocating. When you smell smoke, you feel like suffocating. It could be choking as well. So the way you choose, the type of vocabulary you select and the way you use them will bring out the sense of, the 5 senses we are looking about. This sentence alone, it has 2 clauses. We have the first clause and the second clause separated using a semicolon. Is actually more than enough. It's descriptive enough to appeal to the sense of smell. Okay? So again, I'm reminding you, we are not using diagrams, or we are not using realias to bring out the 5 senses, but the choice of words we use actually will tell us a lot about the senses and their relationship to descriptive writing. So you can practice, try to practice back at home, try to do your writing, take it to your teacher to check. You will clearly tell that you don't really need diagrams to appeal to these senses, but you need words. So we have smoke, we have choking and suffocating. Okay? And avoid using the actual sense. Avoid saying the smoke smelled or what smell and all that. Just be careful, be very creative with your vocabulary choice. Okay? Then number 2, we are moving to the sense of taste. Remember, we said we taste with our tongue. But as writers, we will not bring to you, or you as a writer, you will not take something to be tasted for your readers, your audience. We are trying to reach our audience through words. That is the beauty about writing. Okay? The beauty about writing is that we influence, we impact our audience and our readers by use of words. And that is the beauty about writing. I hope you love it like I do. So, sense of taste. We said we taste with our tongue. Okay? So let's give a sentence. Look at that sentence, as simple as it is. The sweet, hot cocoa hit my tongue. Okay? Like I said, you will not bring food, you will not bring the cocoa to us physically as your readers to taste how sweet it is. The choice of words, sweet. And we are having even tongue there, and we know exactly what you tasted as the person describing the food and how it tasted. So we are looking at sweet, vocabulary, cocoa, vocabulary, and tongue, vocabulary. So this appeals to the sense of taste without you necessarily, it tasted so sweet. No need. Just pick your words carefully. Make the readers try. If you read this sentence alone yourself, you will feel like, okay, this person must have really felt so nice, because the choice of word we have selected, sweet, and obviously for those who love cocoa, of course, and the tongue, which is the organ we use to feel taste. Don't say, I tasted sweet cocoa, I tasted something nice. The words alone are enough to help us understand what we are looking at. So yeah, this is how easy it is. Again, the same way we did smell is the same way we are doing taste, and that alone is enough to engage the first 2 senses that we have looked at. Moving forward, let's look at the third taste, the third sense. Our third sense is sense of hearing. We have sense of hearing, which we said we do this by the organ, the ear. So it is our ears, the two pairs, the pair that help us understand, or rather have the sense of hearing. Again, you will not bring a drum, or you will not bring the keychains jingling and all that to your readers to hear what you heard. But again, you will still use the choice of vocabulary to understand how we create sense of hearing. So let me give you another sentence again. Okay, the sound of the wind as it swayed past us was calming. Look at that. Choice of vocabulary. We have sound. Sorry. We have sound, we have wind, and then we have, we can have calming if you want to be more descriptive. Of course, you're looking at descriptive writing. So we are having the sound of the wind as it swayed past us was calming. You want your readers to feel, to be engaged, to feel what you felt, while if they were supposed to put themselves in your shoes as the writer, and they put themselves as the reader in your shoes, try to imagine how calming it was and what made it so calming. Maybe you've been in a very quiet place, a very dull place, a very boring place. Then you head to the beach. You head to the beach where there is wind, very soft, calming wind, and you want your readers to understand what the situation you are in, and also try to make them feel relaxed. You can include calming there to show the effect you're having, and also this will be an effect on the readers. So again, the choice of vocabulary that I've underlined: sense of hearing, there was sound of wind, and it was so calming. We have another verb there, swayed past us. So you can hear wind, of course, but you cannot see it, so you can just hear it. So we're having the sound of the wind as it swayed past us was calming. Again, choice of vocabulary. Then moving forward to our fourth sense, which is our sense of sight. Sense of sight. And we said sense of sight, we use our eyes to see. Okay, what you can see, the flickering lights, you can see them flicker and all that. So let's come up with a sentence again, the same way we did touch, taste, and hearing. Choice of vocabulary really matters in our sentences. So let's write a sentence. We have the sentence there, and I want you to help me underline the key words, the key vocabulary terms that we need. White, fluffy snow fell from the sky. We are looking at something in particular, or rather maybe let's give it two words, but the main one, the first one, white. This appeals to the sense of sight. What you see immediately, snow is falling. Then we have fluffy. You can actually see a white fluffy thing dropping. As much as this might also feel to the sense of touch, which we will look at next, you can also see something fluffy and white. It appeals to, mainly the white one, appeals to sense of sight. So we have white fluffy snow fell from the sky. So you're sitting there watching snow falling down, and you can actually see the white color. So this is as simple as it is, no complications. Then number 5, we have the sense of touch, which we have not looked at. And we said, when you're looking at sense of touch, somebody touches your skin, you feel. If something brushes off, there is actually a story I did with, I'm doing with the 10th currently, and it's a Gothic story about this character who has an intuition that somebody is accompanying them in the house, literally a ghost-like person. So he feels something brushes past him, through the skin, but he cannot see it. Okay, and to some point, literally, he cannot touch it, only that it is an intuition that something has brushed past him on the, the side arm as he was walking downstairs. So with a sense of touch, it must be something tangible. It must touch your skin, you must feel it. Okay, so let's look at a sample sentence. Again, choice of vocabulary, really important. You will not bring for us a cotton or a fluffy, a white fluffy snow for us to touch as your readers. Choice of vocabulary. Remember that I'm repeating it because it is through writing we communicate to our readers using words, and that is the most important thing that you need to know. So let's give an example. Look at that. Cold, harsh wind engulfs me. We are having cold. You can only feel cold through your skin. Harsh through your skin, And we are looking at another word, engulfs me. So we are having cold, harsh wind engulfs me. Sense of touch. I can also give you another example and say, I brushed my feet against the coarse sand. You're walking in the beach, or you're just relaxing somewhere that has sand, and coarse sand, the coarse there and the brushing there, and we have your feet there. These are the key terms, but most importantly, the coarse sand. The coarse sand is a little bit rough compared to a smooth one. So we're having, I brushed my feet against the coarse sand, wherever you are. So remember, this is appealing to the sense of touch. You have said cold, sense of touch. Coarse, again, sense of touch. So it must feel through your skin, and you must feel like something has actually touched you. So what was my main point here? If you're writing, let's start from the beginning. If you're writing a descriptive text, you're describing, remember, giving details of an object. So if you want to describe, you're writing descriptively, giving a description, meaning giving details that appeal to the five senses. As a reader, I would like to read your work, and I also believe when you're a reader, you'd like to read something that engages you, involves you as the reader. So meaning, you must appeal to our five senses. If you want us to know what you tasted, choice of vocabulary. If you want us to know what touched you or what you touched, let us know. Sight, let us know. Smell, let us know. Hearing, let us know. So we are looking at how to engage the five senses in writing. We have said the most important thing is choice of vocabulary. Vocabulary, actually, if I was to define vocabulary, the choice of vocabulary helps us to create and engage the five senses. And then we are looking at vocabulary refers to the words being used, simple as it is. Don't struggle so much. Look at the two terms I've used when defining, the three: words, meaning, and effect. When somebody tells you vocabulary choice, this person wants you to know the words you're going to use. Words used to create effect and meaning. Two keywords, meaning, effect. They must be there. Meaning, we want to know what are you referring to. Effect, appealing to the five senses that we have looked at. So let's go back. Let's come to smell. The smoke from the burning logs from the fireplace was choking. I almost suffocated. Three keywords: smoke, which can be smelled, choking, and the suffocation, which is the effect. Okay. Taste, We have the sweet, another vocabulary word use, cocoa and tongue. Sweet, the effect, tongue and cocoa, the meaning. What cocoa is what was being tasted, what we can taste, and the tongue, which is now actually appealing to the taste we have here. Then we have hearing, we have the sound of the wind as it swayed past us was calming. Choice of vocabulary. Sound, okay, and I mean sound appealing to the sense of hearing, calming, the effect you get. So we have meaning and effect. Sight. White fluffy snow fell from the sky. We have white fluffy giving us the touch of it and all that. Then we have touch, sense of touch. Cold, harsh wind engulfs me. Engulfing the effect. Cold, the sense of hearing we get. Harsh, still the effect and meaning. Then we have another example there. I brushed my feet against the coarse sand. So all these were just meant to make you understand what we normally use when we are writing descriptively, and the 5 senses must be appealed. Now, moving forward in our next lesson, I'm going to show you a sample of a descriptive writing where all the 5 senses have been appealed to and engaged, and I hope moving forward after next week's lesson, we will be able to understand what it means to write descriptively. So thank you so much for today. I've been your teacher, Miss Vivian Elizabeth from Andalusia Academy, together with Horizon TV. I hope to see you next time. Thank you.